recording because I don't want to take up too much of Jamie's time. So I'm going to share my screen. Welcome to the Team Elevate team call. It is July 30th, 2019. It is my birthday, my 27th year. So exciting. I had actually somebody ask me if I was hosting a team call on my birthday tonight. I'm like, heck yeah. Like, team calls make me better. And I know, and I tell you guys this all the time, but I aim to be my dream coach every single day. Team call Tuesdays at 9 p.m. are my set date, as if I had to go in and meet my principal or meet my boss every single day. And I never schedule anything over top of those things, right? And so I want to, right, whatever I focus on grows. So if I am giving off that energy into our team, if I am showing up even on my birthday, if I'm showing up when it's not convenient for me, I want to preach that so that our team does that as well, right? And that's how our businesses grow, is when we do show up when it's not convenient for us. But not to mention, like, I love the shit out of team call night. It makes me a better human. I feel like every Tuesday I need to like keep that flame getting a little bit bigger, like keep that flame in my belly. And so team call night just makes me a better human, and I wouldn't miss that for the world, not even on my birthday. So let's talk a little bit about July, guys. Holy freaking cow, 730 lives changed so far, and we still have one day left. We are crushing it. I am not going to take the time to go over everybody, but this is all of the coaches who have achieved Success Club so far. Keep in mind, guys, you still have 24 hours tomorrow. So even if you're sitting at Success Club 0, you cannot write off tomorrow as an opportunity to grow your business. You can help 3 people get started tomorrow if you are intentional with your time. Do not wait for August to get started or to jump back into the game. Use tomorrow or use the rest of tonight to be intentional and drive your business forward. But so many lives changed. So many human beings' lives have been touched because we all said yes to this opportunity. And we have helped 730 people get started on a health and fitness journey, or to extend their health and fitness journey this month, which is incredible. Our coach of the week is Lou Corda, who has been a coach probably for like 6 or 7 months. And she has been so consistent. I remember month 2, she was like, Ashley, I'm not having a lot of success. And I'm like, girl, just keep going, keep posting, keep being that light on social media. And she didn't give up, and she started growing more gradually. And now she's leading the board with 14 Success Club points. And it's just become this routine for her. And it's so evident in her social media. So definitely give her a follow. Her name is Life as Lou, or Lulu, on Instagram. She's incredible. All right. This week's headlines, guys. Tomorrow is the last day of the month, which means it's the last day to access your promo codes. So if you are if you are pushing for a higher Success Club point number, or for more lives change, more money in your pocket, which all of us should be, even if you're at Success Club 50, you should be pushing for, bigger goals tonight and tomorrow. Utilize your promo codes. Go out and follow up with everybody. Take the last day of the month as your day of hustle to just follow up with every single person you've ever talked to and tell them about the promo codes if you have any left. Okay, so use that as a major follow-up. Tomorrow night at 8:30, I will be hosting an Emerald University for all of Team Elevate. It will be live on Zoom like this. So if you are a brand new coach, or even if you're an Emerald coach already and you want to jump on with me, definitely jump on. I'm going to be talking about how to hit Emerald, why to hit Emerald. I'm going to really break down how to earn money and all like foundational logistics. So definitely jump onto that. And then, hopefully you guys all know this, but we launched Collagen. We really haven't talked since Summit. I feel like it's been like go, go, go since Summit. So I really just want to point out, guys, that we do have Collagen. I have been a Collagen user for over a year now. I bought the Primal Kitchen Collagen forever. And I was so excited when Beachbody announced that we had a Collagen, or that one was coming. And then we learned that it launched at Summit. And so if you guys are not using Collagen, make sure to order it. It's like $27 or $29 for us for a 28 serving tub, which is incredible. I was buying mine for $45 for a 20 serving tub. So that's a steal for what it has to offer. And so it really helps with like skin health, joint health, muscle growth, really all things like think about like things that in our body that has collagen in it, and do research on your end and how you want to describe it to people. But remember, your clients aren't going to use it if you're not using it. So I like to show that I'm consistently using collagen for like my beauty girls, or for the people who want to add a little bit of something in, especially because it's kind of one of those quick fix things where people do want to see, all right, oh, anything to make me look prettier, anything for the external. And so it's really awesome for those people who are looking for something on the external, not to mention it's just really incredible for you. Okay. Last thing I want to say, then I'm going to pass it over to Jamie. We have signed a total of 122 coaches onto Team Elevate in the last 7 days, guys. Freaking incredible. Shout out to you guys. If you are somebody who signed a coach, give yourself a little shout out in the chat. I am so proud of you guys. 122 people added in the last 7 days is outrageous, and I am so blown away by you. Every time I log into my Coach Online office, day by day by day, I see new names, I see new faces, I see new coaches advancing their rank, moving their businesses forward, and it blows me away every single day, and I love it. It's the beauty of this business. All right, so tonight we are going to have Jamie Fitzpatrick, who I have had the pleasure of growing a relationship with. He is the top male coach in the company. He was top 10 in 2016, he'll tell you. But what's so cool about Jamie is that he really honestly doesn't even care about these accolades. For him, he like loves this business. Him and his wife, Kim, were actually nominated, or they earned the CEO award this year at Summit. And I had the pleasure of sitting next to them. We were right next to each other on the floor for Elite, and they were called up on stage, and they were just the humblest people ever. They bring so much grace to this business, and what I think is so beautiful is being able to lead a company with a couple like this who just are so passionate and driven on changing human beings' lives, including their own health, or including their own families' lives, but really impacting so many other families around the world. And they just give off that light on social media. And so I asked Jamie to really deliver us tonight like the action to how to grow a foundation for our businesses. I know so many coaches come in this and they're like, all right, but it's overcomplicated, I'm overwhelmed, and all of these things. And Jamie is really incredible at obviously building a massive downline, building a massive organization. And so I just want him to give a little bit of that light to us tonight. Hopefully he's on. Are you there? Yay. Okay. It's all yours.
Oh, thank you. Man, I love your leaderboard. I remember the days when I started, and like I had 3 people on my leaderboard, and I posted it, and it just like, and I'll talk a little bit about this, but it's like you just show up every damn day, and that leaderboard grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And I always say to my coaches, it's like, I want you to have a team call where you invite me to guest speak on your team call. I want you to have those leaderboards, because that's where the magic happens. So I love seeing that. And I will say to Ashley too, it's like, you know, I think most people in Beachbody and in this company are really, really good people. Like you don't find a lot of people you meet where you're just like, ooh, like they're different or off, or you know what I mean? And like for that CEO award, which was pretty surreal for Kim and I, we were sitting beside Ashley, and of course, like it didn't surprise me, but Ashley just having the wherewithal to know how special that moment was for Kim and I, just to recognize, to get out of her own space and recognize how important that was. She immediately like started filming, because she knew, right? Like you knew right away. It's like, oh, I'm going to film this for them because it's a special moment. And I've put her film on YouTube because she was right there. And you're just such a pro. And I talked about my stories today too. And we talked about it, Ashley, about abundance, and just like, you need to shine the light on other people all the time in this business, and you will not go wrong. You just won't. It's like, choose abundance over scarcity all the time. So I just thank you for that, Ashley. It was a really cool moment for us, and you captured it. So thank you. So let's dive into this. I have a lot of notes I've written for this. I hope I get through them all. I don't know how long your calls are, but I'm just going to go for it. And I tend to jump all over the place, so you may have to follow along. But I think for me, and I want to dive into, and I'm not going to really share my whole story, because I think I've done a call for you before, Ashley, and I shared it. You probably have new coaches on, but long story short, I gained 60 pounds through my past life, job, career, through stress, found P90X infomercial, ordered it, lost all the weight, fell in love with Beachbody, ordered all the DVDs, found coaching in 2015. The rest is history. So for me, when Ashley was like, hey, talk about action, and especially for new coaches when they join the business, you know, what do they do? Because it is very easy to get overwhelmed. Honestly, overwhelmed is just a feeling. It's not an actual thing. Like, overwhelmness isn't tangible. You can't touch it. You can't grab it. It is actually a feeling that you create based on all the moving parts. And I always say this, and honestly, I am, and I'm not trying to be self-deprecating for a specific reason, but I will tell you this right now. I am of average intelligence. I have a few things that I'm strong at. I've got a shitload of things that I'm weak at, and I'm self-aware enough to know both those sides. I know what I'm really good at, and I know what I'm not very good at. And I focus on the things that I'm really strong at. I really do. And one of those things is action, to be honest with you. And because when I started as a coach, it was January 29th, 2015. I knew nothing about the business. I didn't really research it. I knew about the opportunity. I fell in love with the programs because it helped me on an emotional level get back to who I was. And for me, it was kind of like I knew I loved the programs, and I've always been that person that just kind of jumps in and learns as you go. I know not everyone's built that way. I know you're not. And there's probably some people on this call. What do we have? 82 people on the call. I know there's probably some of you, maybe you've been a coach for a month, 4 months, 6 months. My initial advice to you will be, don't wait to feel like you know everything about this business. You never will. You never will. I literally was talking with Liz, my coach in the UK, this morning. I'm like, Liz, I can't believe I don't know the answer to this, but do you bank volume if you're inactive, or do you lose volume when you're not an emerald? Like, you literally, you forget parts of the business, because what I'm really good at is focusing on what's in front of me. And if you tell me I have to do 5 things today, I will fucking tackle that relentlessly. I don't know the other 482 things that I have to do in this business, but those 5 things that I know I need to do, you will not beat me at doing those 5 things. So when I joined as a coach, I joined up. Miguel is a really successful coach in Canada, another dude. Shocker, I know. And I said, okay, I'm like, what do I do? What's my first step? He's like, post your why on social media. I said, what's a why? He's like, just tell your story on social media with an invite at the end. This was my training, with an invite at the end, and invite people to a challenge group. I was like, what's a challenge group? I literally knew nothing about the business. I posted my story on Facebook. I posted a call to action. I literally posted at the end, I'm looking for 5 people to take under, this is the words I used, to take under my wing, to help you lose weight in my challenge group that starts in 4 weeks. I didn't know what a challenge group was, but I posted that anyway. I just posted it because that's what he told me to do. I knew nothing about the company. I didn't know the compensation plan. I didn't know what an emerald was, what a diamond was. I literally knew nothing. I had really limited training, to be honest with you. Miguel's a great mentor, coach. I would never change it. I would never go with someone else. But his whole philosophy too is like, just go, just do. And that's been my philosophy from day one. And to be honest with you, I've revamped our team's training over and over and over again, because you go through these waves in this business where it's like, oh, why isn't that working? These coaches aren't succeeding. They're not getting a good start. So I tune up the training. And to be honest with you, I feel like for me, I have like 2 superpowers. One, pardon my language, but I've already sworn. So my first superpower is that, and maybe it's my age. I turned 47 this year. Yes, I'm 20 years older than you, Ashley. Don't smile. My first superpower is like no F's given. There is not one iota or care in the world for me what someone thinks about what I'm doing on social media, what I post. I'm a dude, I'm a guy's guy. I played sports my whole life. I drink beer. Like, I swear I'm not like more emotional than the average dude. But on social media, when I started coaching, I shared it all. I mean, I shared it all. Drinking too much at night, gained 60 pounds, using other illicit substances, staying up till 3 a.m, playing poker, scotch. That was me. And I really dumped it all on social media for people to see. And I just, and since that day I've signed up, that has been a superpower of mine. I don't give up. I just don't. I don't know why. I don't know where that's been developed. It's served me. It's probably the number one thing that has served me the most in this business, other than my work ethic, that does not get in my way. It doesn't block me. It doesn't stop me from posting. There will be some of you on this call, and I say this with all the love in the world, but you are stopping yourself. You are literally stopping yourself from living a life that would blow your mind, because you are still so effing worried about what people think about what you do. And you know who you are. I don't know any of you, so I'm not calling anybody out. But imagine this, and I say this with no ego. It's not how I'm built. I'm Canadian. We say sorry a lot. We're very humble and too nice. Really, we're almost too nice. Like, I say this out of shock value. I don't know the income disclaimer. This isn't a get-rich scheme. Your skill level diligence is based on, I don't know. What is it, Ashley? Help me. I don't know what it is. Just, this isn't a get-rich scheme. Kim and I in July, because the actual last pay week in July is over, like, we made $65,000 in July. I only tell you that. We haven't changed our life. We don't live in a bigger home or buy shit. Like, we're not about stuff. That's never. We have 2 kids. All our money goes to them, to be honest with you. I tell you that because imagine the freedoms that my wife and I have. We left our corporate jobs 2 years ago. We started this business, guys, 4.5 years ago, 2 full-time corporate jobs, picked our kids up at 6 p.m. every day. We'd call each other on the road. Or, can you get them at 6? No, I can't get them. You got to go get them. Like, literally. We had a 3 and a 6-year-old, 2 full-time jobs, and we built this business. I literally made the top 10. We both had full-time jobs and 2 young kids. And we squeezed this into the pockets of time. And like, I tell you about the money because I don't have money blocks. I don't view money as icky. I know some of you do. That's fair. It's how you were raised and stuff like that. I don't view money that way because we don't use it for those purposes. We don't use it for stuff and shit. And, what we use our money for is our kids who are now 8 and 10, their college education is both paid for completely. It's done. It's paid for. They don't have to worry about it. Our mortgage is almost paid off. We have we don't go to work. We take our kids to school. We pick them up. We get to choose what we want to do every day. It is literally a dream life. Most of that, and my whole point here is that the craziness of human nature and psychology, the craziness of this, guys, is some of you won't get there because you're fucking worried about your cousin. You're worried about your cousin who you see 3 times a year, maybe twice, at a stupid picnic or summertime party, and you don't like her anyway. but you're worried about what she's going to say about the business that you're doing that's outside the box that she won't get anyway because she's closed-minded and she doesn't get that shit and she's miserable herself. But you, like, this is the madness, guys. You will limit your potential. You will stop your actual destiny because of the opinion of someone who you don't actually like anyway. Like, no, honestly, like think about the madness. Like when you're 90 and you have 4 days left to live and you're on your deathbed and your great grandson is by your bed because everyone else is gone and no one cares anymore. Do you think, sorry, that was a morbid picture. Do you think that you will care what happened 40, 50, 60 years ago about what someone said about what you're doing on social media? Like, guys, I've done traditional business before. We owned a chain of stores. I've done it all. Like, we did 60 million in sales. I know what that side of the business is like. This is the new economy. You need to harp down on this and understand this business fully. You don't need to know everything about the compensation plan. See, I told you I'll get off track. I'm a ranter. So you don't need to understand everything, but you do have to understand what this business actually is compared to other businesses. That I can do in spades. I know how special this business is. I know there's no rent, there's no employees. As we owned retail stores, we had $7,000 a month in rent and employees and all that crap. This is a special business. The fact that people don't get that, it actually makes me happy because I'm like, this is my secret. I don't want everyone to get this. I just don't. I don't want all my family to understand this. It makes me giggle inside. Kim and I, it's funny. Like my family's really supportive. This is going to be on YouTube, but I'll be careful what I say because their family may come across this. But like, we sent an email out finally. Our family knows nothing really about what we do. We don't share it with them. It's like, they don't even really understand what we do. We finally sent an email to them, like explaining the last last month and summit of what happened in the CEO award. And we've launched a legacy headband line and we won, we were part of the legacy club. We actually sent an email to all of our family because they don't get it and they don't know, and I don't expect them to get it. My point is that you have to come to the understanding for yourself. You have to find it within yourself that your life, your family, your kids, your spouse, your partner, whoever, you have to come to the realization that nothing else is more important than where you're going to be in 5 to 10 years. And if you base that on the opinion of people, it is madness. It's lunacy. Is that a word? Lunacy? I was a PE teacher. I don't know. Like, that is madness, you guys. It's crazy town. I get why, because we've grown up with insecurities and your mom was shitty to you and, all the crap that we all deal with, guys. But, oh my Lord, those people who are judging you are so miserable themselves. Like, you guys get that, right? Like, they're miserable human beings because there's no reason to judge what you're doing. You're actually, the courage that you're having to do this and step outside the box and grow something, you are the stars. You are the mavericks. You are the people that are stepping outside the societal box. And I could go on a tangent about employees and big business and corporate America and how they want you to stay poor and they want you to be middle class. They want you to be attached to your job because if you get rich, they lose you as a $12 an hour employee. That's a whole other tangent. But you know what I'm saying? No one wants you to be wealthy. No one wants you to, because that ruins the whole model for rich people. It ruins the whole model for CEOs. They want you all to be making $15 an hour and working in their company. That's the whole goal. That's how it's been designed, because you're attached to your bills and your mortgage and you can't get out of your job because you have nowhere else to go, right? So they want you to stay small. Yes. So back to the main topic of this thing. You have to, my superpower is I don't care. And it has served me so well in my life and so well in this business because I show up on my stories and social media as dorky Jamie, me. I share it. I'm relatable. People get it. I don't think twice. I don't erase my stories. I post and go. Some stuff pisses people off. Some stuff offends people. I don't care. I just don't care. My second superpower I'm going to talk a bit about who I am as a person. My second superpower is I just have the ability to take massive, massive action. That is my second superpower. I don't have any others than those two. No fucks given, massive action. Those are my two superpowers. That's it. That is it. And it's actually Kim. Kim cares a little bit more than me about the opinion of others, and she's dealing with stuff too. She is a work animal. Like, she is a demon. She's a demon. I can't keep up with her. And I started the business first. 6 months in, she's like, oh, I'll coach. This seems cool. I never knew she'd turn into this animal of a coach. She's at SC 190, guys. Like, she's just goes, and she levels me up, right? So that's that part of it. And it's like my whole thing here is, and I grew up with a lot of insecurities. Look at, Good Will Hunting, that scene where he's sitting with, is it Minnie Driver? He's sitting and he's doing her homework for her, and she's looking at him. She's just like, how do you do this? Like, how do you know this stuff? And he's explaining, he's like, when I do it, he's like, I can just play. Or I think he does a sports analogy. He's like, I can just do it. I can just play. I was like that with sports growing up. I could just play. And I'm not trying to sound like egotistical, but I was a hockey player and baseball and basketball, and I could just give me a racket. I could just play sports. But I had some insecurities on my intelligence. My brother's super intelligent, super smart guy, coach. I remember being in grade 10 and 11 and thinking like, holy shit, like, mortgages confused me. Like, how am I going to own a home? I couldn't understand how a mortgage would work, or debt, or lending. Like, that overwhelmed me. I had trouble in school. Like, I had real insecurities about my intelligence and whether I could do things. I was trained to be a teacher. I taught high school for 7 years. I actually loved it. My first teaching practice when I was 21. My teaching, what do you call them? Evaluator, 21 years old, right? Young kid in university. I had to go do a teaching practicum in a middle school with grade 8, 9 kids. And at the end of it, my teaching evaluator, who's this old crusty guy, pulled me aside. He's like, Jamie, I don't think this job is for you. Your grammar is terrible. Your writing is awful. Your grasp of the English language is horrible. There's going to be parents who are going to come into your class and wonder if you're able to teach their kids. So I dealt with all this stuff. Not only in high school was I dealing with that, I dealt with it going into university and stuff. Imagine like a guy telling you that as a new teacher, which I thought was going to be my career, telling me my grammar. And the funny part is, like, I kind of do this for a living now, right? Like I speak and talk and all that stuff. So don't let no one can define what you're good and not good at. No one can define what your future is. That's just bullshit. You decide what you become. You can agree with them, and that can be the story you write for yourself, but you also can write a different story for yourself, right? So action. So, like, guys, I was this kid who, like, I really struggled with wondering, could I do things growing up? But the one thing I've been good at is just, if you give me a task, I'm going to do it, and I'm probably going to do it better than most people. Not the other 100 tasks, but the 1 or 2 or the 5 that you put in front of me. Here's my thing, guys. We have too much training on our team, I'll be honest with you. Like, I developed our own training. It's too much. This is my advice to you for taking action, especially new coaches. You don't need to know everything. And I'm going to get into what I think you need. I'm going to have a list of what you need to focus on and what I think you need to ignore when you start coaching. Because it's a really small list, guys. If there's one takeaway I can give you, this is a learn as you go business. It's a learn as you go business. If you try to learn everything before you go, you will get stuck. You will fail. You will not move forward. It's going to be hard for some of you perfectionists because you have a tendency to, shit, I got to know everything before I take step 1. No, guys, just go. part of going is not caring what people think, especially as a new coach. It's going to be tough. You're going to have to get outside your comfort zone, right? You're going to have to get really uncomfortable, but that's where you grow. Let's be honest. That's where you grow as a human being. You know, you show me someone who's super comfortable in their life. They're not doing shit. They're not doing anything in their life. Nothing. And they're not learning anything either. You should actually, one of your goals should be to like get a little more uncomfortable every day. That will move your business forward. What do you do when you start as a coach? I'm sure, Ashley, you've got training. I'm sure you want people to get through the end of it. I do too. Our training's actually 24 days long. I would probably guess like 20% of people actually make it through our entire training, honestly, because I actually have little tests throughout my training. When they get to like day 23, they have to do something, and most never do it, so I know they've never made it to the end. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with that sometimes, because then I go and look at what they're doing in the business, and they're actually doing pretty good in the business. It's like they probably get tired of the training after a while. And they're like, I just want to go. It's like, no, go. You know, just go. So when you start, get on team calls. This is a no-brainer. This is like just showing up to the office, being on a team call. If you can't show up to a team call, or at least watch a recording, because I get we all have different schedules, that's like just stepping in the door, right? Just start sharing on social media. I don't give a shit if it's about the business. Just start sharing and opening up on social media. Just share. Just share. Stories, when they came along, there wasn't such thing as stories when I started. It was like these long Facebook posts. I wasn't even on Instagram. We actually built our business through Facebook, made the top 10 through Facebook, no Instagram. We're now mostly Instagram because you have to shift and move around. It was harder when I started 4 years ago. We had to post 3 to 5 times a day on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook stories is like you just motor through it. It's super easy, and you get so much engagement on it, right? So that's the one thing, is just like, obviously pick a program. That's a no-brainer. Shakio is a no-brainer. You know, you have to use the product. My advice for all of you, Ashley talked about collagen. What I love about collagen is that it is going to be the easiest sale you will ever have. You know why? Because it's not attached to exercise. Energize, you got to exercise. Recover, you got to exercise. Shakio, yeah, it's kind of tied to exercise, but not really. But it's you know, people, the price objection thing. Collagen, the people don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything for collagen. You literally have to show that you're using it on social media over time, right? Build up that credibility. They don't have to do anything else. Like, you should all be selling 20, 30, 40, 50 collagen a month. There's no resistance to it. They don't have to do anything else. They have to take the scoop, drink it. They don't have to do anything else. Sure, we promote it as part of the healthy lifestyle, but like, guys, you should, if you don't have collagen after this call, you need to go order collagen. No doubt. Like, just, that is like part of the business. Order your collagen. My advice to you, if you're just on one product like Shakeology or the Performance Stack, you need to, after this call, I get finances are a thing. This is a business. You will have to invest in it. After this call, you need to go find 2 other products that we carry, and you need to order them after this call. 2 that you think you're going to love and relate to if you've never tried them. That is a no-brainer in this business. If you looked at our cupboard, like, it is a Walmart in their Beachbody products. Like, it is just shit everywhere. Because, and I get finances, like, I get that, guys, but like, we were customers before we became coaches, and it looked the same, you know? But that is one of the things as a brand new coach that's so easy. And no, you're not holding up, you know, your Shakeology in people's face, or you don't have to show collagen or anything like that. Don't be salesy, you know? But every day on stories, you can turn the label around. So we have the curiosity marketing, whatever you guys want to do. Every morning over time, as you start to use those products, people become curious as to what you're doing, right? But you have to show that you're using them. You have to, okay? So that's your first thing. Order 2 products you haven't after this call. Just do it. You can't sell a product you don't use. And we are actually in the sales business, kind of. So you can't sell a product you don't use. You can, but it's much less effective. And stories allows you to do it every day without being obnoxious in doing a post. It's just so easy, stories, right? So that's one thing. And just start sharing on that, guys. And I don't know what your training process is on your team or anything like that, but that is kind of step one, is like just share on social media. It is free advertising, you guys. And this is coming from someone who's spent $5,000 to $10,000 on advertising in a different business because we had to. You don't need to advertise. I haven't ran an ad in this business for a year, and we've been doing better than we ever have. You know, I actually think we should be more advertising on Instagram. We just haven't got around to it because things are still going pretty well without advertising. But that's your first thing, right? Like, master those products, use them, love them, show the change in you that it's doing. That's as you start, that is the easiest thing to do in this business. List of people. This is like old school network marketing 101. Make a list of people that you may want to reach out to at the start. You don't have to know everything. If you're worried about what you're going to say, I'm not a huge fan of scripts. I think they can be beneficial. I think you need to tweak them. I think scripts were also developed in a time period when you couldn't necessarily do voice notes or video message on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever we're doing now. I feel like a grandfather. What's this TikTok thing that people are talking about? But like, there's so many things now that you can actually have that video conferencing and personal messaging. Well, what does my coach tell me about? You guys probably know what it is. Sorry, I'm going to find it. What is it? It's, shit, hold on. Marco Polo. Do you guys use that? Check it out. It's pretty cool. It hasn't caught on yet. What is TikTok? Exactly. Marco Polo is cool too. Anyway, so that's the one thing that like you can start to do, and you don't need to finish the training. Like, start the business of sharing your journey, but you do need to start reaching out to people. And my thing about reaching out at the start, about taking action, is like, it's for me, it was more, I think people overcomplicate that conversation as a new coach. Because you're getting all this information, you're not necessarily sure what to say, and you're so worried about saying the wrong thing. You know how you don't say the wrong thing? It's impossible to say the wrong thing when you get into a conversation. Share what you love. Share what you love about the programs. Share what you love about the products. Even if it's 2 or 3 weeks in, just talk about what you love. You don't have to know everything. Sure, you want to know the price at the end. You know, this isn't rocket science. A challenge pack is pretty basic. BOD, product, nutrition, accountability group. Let's not overcomplicate this, right? Share what you love about it at the start. And you can even say, like, I'm really new to this, but I've been doing this for a month. I'm telling you, I love it. The accountability group is a game changer because it's something I've never done before, you know? And the other part about being a new coach, and this is going to be hard for some of you, but I'm a huge believer in energy and tonality, if that's a word. I think I made it up. Like, you have to show up to a conversation. You don't need to know it all, but you have to show up to a conversation with some energy and excitement, because people are drawn into that, right? They're drawn into your vibe. I really feel like energy goes back and forth. You know, you have to show up like that in your conversations, on especially Insta stories. I mean, Insta stories are so easy, you know. Hey, we just did morning meltdown. I feel pretty good, you know, and I'm gonna drink my Recover. You know, like I know I joke about it, but you have to find it within you to raise your vibration level to a point that people are like, holy shit, that girl. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but I need to be a part of that, you know? Like, we literally, and I don't know if you know my wife, Kim, you know, she's the Energizer Bunny on speed. You don't have to be at that level, but people literally will message her and mostly her, and be like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're selling. I don't know what you guys are part of, but I want to be a part of that, because the energy is so high, right? And it's not being inauthentic. It's not like you're just being overly, you know, but you have to get excited about what you're doing. This is your business. Like, show up. Part of showing up in your business is showing up with that excitement and passion for what you're doing. If you're kind of like, ho hum, whatever, sign up for $160. Yeah, I might make money on it. Guess what? Like, who is going to join your nobody? Nobody is going to join your team because they feed off your energy, good and bad. And if it's bad and it's low, it's like, shit. Womp, womp, womp. You know what I'm saying, though? That's part of it. And if you have to practice, go practice in front of a mirror. I don't know. We're not all built that way. Like, even me now, like, I get excited to do these team calls. You meet me in person, I'm not like this. I'm not being authentic, but like, I like this stuff. It excites me. If I hop on a coach call with a potential coach, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. Like, I get excited. I go do jumping jacks before I hop on the call. But if you meet me at a party or something, I'm pretty low key and mellow because I'm not trying to, get you to join my team. You know what I'm saying? So that's something you have to get used to in this business. You'll never find a top coach who doesn't show up in a conversation, isn't excited and vibrant and like wants to be there in that conversation, And if that's something you recognize in yourself, then you got to like work on that stuff. You got to work on that, I'm just looking at my notes here. It's like, when I started, I literally, and back to sort of the money thing and stuff, like we were about a month into our business, and this is part of being a new coach where you're going to be, some of you are going to be so excited to start this, and you're like 2 weeks in, a month in, 3 months in. People aren't also going to understand why you're so excited. Don't take that personally. You can't take that personally. This is outside the box, which is what makes it special, actually. Don't expect them to match your energy. Don't even expect them to agree with what you're doing. Like a month in, we went to a party, old friends of ours. I think the girl had had a few drinks, but we kind of explained what we were doing because she was asking, and she literally like laughed in our face. She literally laughed in our face, and again, it goes back to one of my superpowers. Kim was like, well, she laughed in our face. I'm just like, yeah, she's not really laughing anymore. Not a lot of people laugh at us, but here, what I'll say, it's like, and I'll talk about this at the end, but I want to, for especially you new coaches, this is really important. And I hopped on a call with our UK leaders today. And this is the conversation I had with them, and it was pretty harsh. I was really direct with them. It's like taking action in your business is big. You don't have to know everything. We've talked about, what time is it? I don't even know. What time is it? Oh, I forgot what. Okay, I'll end soon. All this stuff is important. Leaning into your business, showing up on social media, sharing your journey, just taking action, with being okay with not knowing everything is cool. Don't worry about that. You will learn as you go. You just will. It's a learn and go business. But like, there's part of this business, and it's why so many coaches, and I hope you're okay with me saying this, Ashley, but like, I'll just be brutally honest with all of you. There's 89 of you on this call. We're July 30th. July 30th, 2020, 1 year from now. 1 year from now. It's going to be another team call. Tuesday night? Is it Tuesday? Thank you. I'm going to guess, out of 89 of you, 60 or 70 of you will be on this call in a year. Because the 20 or 25 of you, you will treat this like an employee. You'll wonder why you're not getting paid after 6 months. Because entrepreneurship is a patient game. It's about grit. It's about dealing with the no's. It's about not taking it personally. It's about ego. It's about moving the insecurities aside, right? The reality is that 20 or 30 of you probably won't be here in a year. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's 88 of you show up a year and be that Jamie fucker was wrong. Like, no, honestly, like, I hope that happens. But the reality is 20 or 30 of you probably won't be here because you'll pack it in way too early because of what people think, because people said no. Here's the thing. A lot of you will pack it in, not because the business doesn't work, but because you will decide when it gets really tough that it's not working for you. And you will take a week off. You'll take a weekend off. You'll take 2 weeks off. You'll go to a wedding. You'll fall off the tracks. You'll decide not to post on stories for 5 days. Maybe you'll take a month off. Shit will happen in your life. Guys, I'm not like, I don't talk about this a lot because I don't live in this space, but like I deal with chronic pain every day of my life. Mine's not worse than yours. Some of you are probably going through much worse stuff than I am. If you have chronic pain, you get me. If you don't have chronic pain, you have no clue what I'm talking about. You just don't, because it's a mental F. It's like, it's hard. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, but I show up anyway because my family depends on it. And my destiny and what I'm going to do in this life and what we've created depends on that, right? Some of you won't be able to handle that. You just won't. I don't know why, because it's a beautiful business. Maybe you don't believe fully in it yet to stick it out through those tough times. But at some point over the next year, some of you will pack it in. Here's the thing. This business won't work for you and you will pack it in because you're doing this. You're in, you're out, you're in, you're out, SC10, 0, 0, SC3, SC5, 0, 0, 0, 0, maybe SC, usually doesn't happen. You do this. And everybody who's watching you on social media, everybody loses faith and trust in what you're doing. And they already are skeptical. You know that, right? They're already skeptical in what you're doing. So when you take a week off, or you pack it in for a while, they're just like, told you so. She wasn't serious. And your credibility does this. It just does, guys. This isn't a hard business. Like I always say, like I've said this on your call, going to war is hard. Chemotherapy is hard. Like chronic pain is hard. This business is not hard. Holy shit. But you have to show up every day. And when you do that over time, month, 3 months, 6 months, these cool things start to happen. People start to look at you differently, like Lauren and Colleen and Amanda and Ariel and Sierra and Abby and Kate. Shit. They're not going away. Like they're serious about this business. They're showing up every day. And people start to believe in what you're doing and your credibility starts to do this. Most people never get there. Most people never get to that point because they don't have the patience and the stamina and the grit to show up every day. But when you get to that point, it's really cool, guys. And your business starts to change. Taking action at the start is one thing. That's the start of this journey, guys. That is the start of this journey. But you have to show up every day for an extended period of time, guys, to build up your credibility. It's human nature. I wouldn't believe you either. You got to prove it. You got to prove it, you know? Focus on like connections, team calls, business activity tracker. Focus on that. Everything else, push it to the side, especially as a brand new business activity tracker. Focus on that. Everything else you don't have to worry about right now. You know, your superpower, it's my superpower, it's Ashley's, it's everybody on this team call. Your superpower is showing up as you unauthentically, relentlessly, no fears. Show up as you, your quirks, your humor. People are so attracted to that. When you walk in your purpose, guys, no one can take their eyes off you. No one can take their eyes off you when you walk in your purpose. But most of you, generalization, don't get mad at me. A lot of you, I should say, don't walk in your purpose because you're terrified to show up as yourself. But that's the magic of you. Because you're all beautiful people and souls, and you all have gifts and strengths and weaknesses just like me. Like, we're all flawed human beings. No one's perfect. No one wants to see perfect. The most engagement we get on posts is when we're dorks. Like, that's just the way the world works, guys. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of that. But you got to earn your credibility. You just have to. That's part of this game. But that requires you to show up. Right? I'm at 50 minutes, Ashley.
Oh, Jamie, so good. That last quote, when you walk in your purpose, no one can take their eyes off of you. Gosh. And that's the common trend across every successful coach to the ones who are struggling, is that they are authentically themselves and not caring about their cousin who they see twice a year. I love it. Guys, show him some love in the chat. Throw him some hearts, especially for that last quote was so good. I'm taking that. I'm probably going to quote you tomorrow on a post. So good. The other thing I love that you said was you'll pack it in way too early. And I can't remember who said this at Summit, but it's so true. Most people in this business aren't willing to basically work, or Carl said it at Super Saturday this weekend. Most people aren't willing to work for pennies at the beginning of this business to get to the point where they're going to be working for the big dollars. But we have to remember that when we are working for pennies, guys, this business isn't hard. Like Jamie said, it's fun. We're focusing on ourselves every single day. No matter if we're not making a single freaking dollar, we are becoming better human beings because of it. And I know Jamie can sit here and tell you right now that he'd be in this, no questions asked, if he didn't earn a single penny. He'd be showing up to himself for his family on his journey, myself included, even if we weren't earning a single penny. Yep. And so because we started around the same time, about 4.5 years into this business, we've gone through making pennies. We've gone through having to put in the work when we weren't getting the payout. I honestly, when you were like, Ashley, can I say this? I don't know if you want me to say, that probably about like 70% of people will be on this call. I think it's so true. And I think it's so accurate because some people are going to allow the judgments or the fear to get in their way. So strong. I love it. Awesome. Guys, do you have any questions for Jamie before we pop off?
Yeah. Any questions, guys? Ask away.
So many good nuggets.
I'm reading through your chat. You have 400 comments. I can't.
They go crazy in the chat always.
I love it.
I know.
Any questions, guys? Ask away. Oh, sorry, I saw one there. One sec. I'm reading the chat. What is one advice you would give to a coach that feels stuck? Oh, Matt, it's a hard one because I don't know you and I don't know what you're stuck on. Like, what do you mean stuck? Like, I mean, I think like the fact that this is the other thing the fact that you've typed out that feels stuck, that bothers me because that's in your head now. Like, you think you're stuck. Well, if you think you're stuck, it's going to be really hard to get out of that. Like, I'm a big believer in, like, when you verbalize stuff or type it out, I'm just like, don't say that. Like, don't say negative shit like that. Sorry, there's kids here. I just saw it on baby, can't understand anyway. But like, I literally, like, don't verbalize that stuff. Don't type it. Don't say it out loud because you give that stuff power, right? Like, I don't know. I bet you know why you're stuck. You tell me in the chat, why are you stuck? I bet you know why you're stuck. Is it fear? Is it inviting? Are you not posting on social media properly? I don't know. Like, that's an impossible question for me to answer because I don't know. I can't look and see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, it's just a hard question. What was the other one someone asked? Favorite PD book? Again, I think PD is a flavor that you like. Kim likes PD. She'll ask me to listen or read something. I'm like, I can't listen to that. It's such a personal thing for you. I mean, I love, for actual network marketing or business, I love Build to Last by Keith Callahan. It's a new one. He's a Beachbody coach. He wrote this book. Genius. Build to Last. I love it. That's the first book I actually recommend to our coaches that they read. Build to Last by Keith Callahan. I mean, there's so many good ones out there. I like the old school ones like Compound Effect, that kind of stuff. But Built to Last is a good one, right? That's like probably my favorite right now. I'm not so much, and this is one thing you'll see is like, I think personal development books like the Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face, the You're a Badass, I think those are great books. I think they serve a purpose for people. But at some point, I think the difference between coaches and leaders is they move away from uh, Girl Wash Your Face or Girl Stop Apologizing, not picking on Hollis, but they move away from that into John Maxwell leadership books and Robert Kiyosaki business books. Like that's the progression in development from not just personal to professional and business development. So that's more what I'm into now.
Agreed. I think that we really do need to draw a fine line between personal development and professional development. And you guys need to decide, okay, what do I need in this season of my life? And if you are really leaning toward leadership, needing help with leadership, Build to Last. Oh, such a good book. The first chapter, you're going to be like, yes, this is everything that I need. So good.
Susan asked, how do I reach out to others with chronic pain? I don't really reach out to others. I share. I don't talk about it a lot because I just don't want to. I think I give it power when I talk about it, so I don't talk about it a lot. It is a part of my life, but I don't make it my life, if that makes sense. So I don't reach out to people with chronic pain. I do have people that message me when I talk about it, but that's not like a target for me. I don't know if that's what's the question, but I'm just looking through here. Yeah, Keith Callahan, that's right. Anything else, guys? Just going through and looking here. If you could say something to that old crusty man now, what would it be? I wouldn't say anything to him. He's probably dead. That's 25 years ago. I'm old. That was 25 years ago. So.
I love it. I don't think there's any more questions. Jamie, thank you. Okay, wait, one last one. This will be the last one. Tips for developing leaders.
Oh man, another general question.
To somebody who's pushing for elite, like Maddie's real close to elite this year, somebody who's really aiming to be in the top of the company.
Congrats, by the way. Maddie, I think the best thing you can do, I share this with our coaches, I think, and if you're honestly that close, you're probably doing the right thing. I still think leadership isn't management. Leadership isn't managing what everyone's doing. It's not like having to keep tabs on everybody. I think the best thing you can do is show by example. I know that sounds cliche, but if I level myself up, and this is good advice for everybody, if I level myself up every day and I show people what I'm doing, like here's the thing, I don't just post on Insta stories and social media to attract new people. I'm very intentful. Some of my posts are directly at my coaches and downline. Like I have people in mind sometimes when I post, I'm like, this person needs a little bit of a poke, and I craft my post because I want to make sure because I know they watch what I'm doing. So I think like, I don't know if I'm not answering the question, but I think like you showing up and leveling up yourself is the best training tool you can show to develop a leader. And the other thing is this business, guys, if to answer that question maybe a little bit fully, but it's also general advice for everyone. I think maybe some of the best advice I could give you is when you do get coaches, and it's the same with clients too, but when you do get coaches on your team, we are all capable of really extraordinary things. I really believe that. I don't think you were put here to be mediocre. I just don't. We all have different skills and different how we show that. I don't think you're put here to be mediocre. I think your job is to pour belief into people. You pour belief in them until they believe it themselves. And that's how you develop people. That's how you develop leaders, is you just keep pouring belief. And then when you keep doing that and they eventually start to believe that, and then they get a win and they actually sign on a coach who starts to do something, that's when the snowball starts to happen.
Yep. I just visualize like this coach pulling somebody along and they're allowing them to like hold them back That's not leadership. It's when you're like straight up running and your team's just trying to catch up with you. That's leadership, and it's way more fun. I lived 2 years of my business pulling and 2 years of my life running, and you can guess where the success happened for sure.
Yeah.
Love it. Sure. Jamie, you are incredible. It is 10:01. Thank you for jumping on our call. It was like everything. I think new, old, just like beginning coaches, we all needed to hear, including myself. So thank you so much for being such a light, guys. Make sure you give him a follow if you're not following him already. It's just Jamie Fitzpatrick, right?
Yeah, Jamie Fitzpatrick Fitness.
Jamie, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.